Hello and welcome to another episode of Dream Home Cooking. Today is all about some super southern comfort food. I'm going to show you guys my miniature meatloaf recipe, or you can call them miniature meatloaf cups. And then also I have some green beans that I'm going to make with bacon grease that are out of this world. I have a delicious corn casserole that almost tastes like cake. It's so good. And then I have a little appetizer I'm going to do called tomato bites. So I'm going to get started on the green beans because these take the longest to cook. What you want to start with is a little bit of bacon grease, and what I did was I took 8 slices of bacon. For the sake of time, I went ahead and did it, but I took 8 slices of bacon and chopped it into bite-sized pieces, and I just sauteed it in a skillet until it was cooked and crunchy, and then I put it on paper towels, and I'm going to use that bacon for my little tomato bite appetizer, but I need the bacon grease for the green beans, so it's a good way to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So in here it made about 2 tablespoons of bacon grease, and then to that I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to let this butter melt a little bit, and then I'm going to add, I have a half of an onion, and it was a large onion, but it really helps to give the green beans a great flavor. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there, and I want to saute this onion in the butter and the bacon grease for probably a good 10 minutes because you want the onions to get really nice and soft. So the onions have been sauteing for about 10 minutes in the bacon grease and the butter, and they smell delicious, and they have a nice little brown tinge to them, and they're softened. So we're ready to go for the next step. Okay, so the next thing is I like to buy some say Italian green beans on it. These say pole beans, but regardless, they're the flat green bean, and I love those for some reason better than the other. So I've got 2 bags because there's not a whole lot in each one of these. And they're just the frozen Italian green beans or pole beans. So I just put them in with the onion. And then in this little cup, I have some seasonings. I have a tablespoon each of salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. But be careful not to over salt them. You just have to taste it. So I put the seasoning in there, and then I like to use a little Cajun seasoning, about a tablespoon of that. And I'll stir it up. And then I like to put enough water in here just to cover the beans. So I'm gonna pour that. All right, that's just enough to cover them. Then what I'm gonna do is bring this to a boil. And as soon as it starts boiling, I'll turn it way down on low, on a nice simmer, cover it, and then at least an hour. 2 hours is even better. So that part is done. So now I'm gonna get started on the corn casserole. This is one of those recipes that is so super simple, but when you make it and people eat it, they say, what in the world is in this? I gotta have this recipe. It's delicious and it goes well with anything, any kind of meat, pork, chicken, what have you. All right, so what I did, I melted 1 stick of butter in this big glass bowl, and next I'm gonna add 1 little box of Jiffy cornbread. This stuff is the best, and it's still so cheap, barely $1 a box, I think. Okay, so you want to get the little lumps out of there. That's why I always like using a fork to mix, because if you try to do this with a spoon, it makes it really hard to really break up those lumps. So if you're wondering why I always use a fork, that's why. Okay, so then the next thing you want to do is add 1 can of creamed corn. This is quite a cost-effective dish too. And then 1 can of regular corn, and make sure that you do drain it before you add it. And then an 8-ounce carton of sour cream. And this will have a kind of a cornbread consistency to it. Then you want to add also a teaspoon of pepper and a teaspoon of salt. And you just want to make sure that it's mixed real well together. And I'm going to pour it in a baking dish. All right, so now this is all mixed up very well. So I'm gonna pour it in a 13 by 9 by 2 baking dish, and it's gonna bake for exactly 1 hour, and it is delicious. So I like to just shake it a little bit to get it all even for baking. I'm gonna get this in the oven at 350 for 1 hour, and when we come back, I'm gonna get started on the meatloaf.
In choosing a contractor in today's market, finding someone that is going to take care of you and make sure that you're happy with their product, with the quality. It's not an easy task today. The most important thing to me is doing what you say you're going to do, taking care of the customer, installing a product that is superior. My motto is, call the lady with a team you can trust, and I feel confident that we are a team that you can trust.
My father started this business in 1977. The people that work for us is part of what sets us apart. All of our employees have experience. All of our plumbers have been with us for 10 years or greater. Our motto at Dean & Son is quality and service. We're going to do quality work. We don't leave people hanging. We're there when we're supposed to be. We're done when we're supposed to be. Living up to what you sell and service them after they pay you, that's where your integrity in the plumbing business comes.
Dean & Son Plumbing Company. Call today at 518-9780.
When we came to looking for a cabinet company and a manufacturer to use, and with Wellborn being the selection, Wellborn has a good foundation within the company and the folks that run their company. And when you have a good foundation, things typically follow suit with that and things will stay steady. Their values, I feel like, are on a solid foundation. I feel like their true intent is to build a product that will be a lasting product, and you're going to love what you see.
Wellborn Cabinets, the essence of cabinetry, at Woodland Homes of Huntsville.
Since 1983, individuals and businesses in Alabama have relied on Wolf, Jones, Wolf, Hancock, Daniel & South for their legal representation. Our experienced attorneys offer high-quality legal counsel in commercial law, real estate, and personal injury litigation. So if you need an attorney, hire the best attorney you can. Call the experienced North Alabama attorneys at Wolf, Jones, Wolf, Hancock, Daniel & South to arrange your initial consultation, because we're dedicated to setting the standard for legal services.
Okay, we're back and the corn casserole is in the oven, the green beans are simmering, everything smells wonderful. And now I'm going to show you guys what I think is the star of the show today, and that is these little sweet and tangy meatloaf cups. So you want to start with 2 pounds of ground sirloin, and for meatloaf I always use a ground sirloin because it's so much leaner and it doesn't put off all that grease. But the difference in this meatloaf, instead of making a loaf, I'm going to put them in these jumbo muffin tins. I've got 12 of them. So I always think it's fun to have cute little individual portions of a main course sometime. So what you want to do is start with, I have a 1/4 cup of milk, then I have 2 eggs, and I'm going to mix those things up before I add the rest of the ingredients, just to get it mixed a little bit. And you probably do want to take all your rings off when you do this. Wash your hands thoroughly because there's no way of getting around it. You're going to have to get your hands in this one. Okay, so that's mixed up pretty well. Now I'm going to add about a 1/3 cup of A1 sauce. This just gives it a nice little tangy flavor. Then I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of ketchup, and I'm not even going to measure it out. I'm just going to eyeball it and squirt it straight from the bottle. Then I have 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. I love to have a little bit of sweetness in the meatloaf. Then I have a 1/2 of a large green bell pepper that I chopped. This is optional. If you have somebody in your family who freaks out over green things, don't, just leave it out. And if you notice, I'm not putting an actual onion in this. I've got minced onion in here. This is my little spice bowl right here. I have a tablespoon each of salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and then I have 2 tablespoons of the dried minced onion. So that's what I'm gonna put in there all at one time. I'm looking to make sure I've used everything. Now, this is the binder. This is corn flakes, and it's a cup of corn flakes in this little Ziploc bag, and I need a 1/2 cup. So by the time you mash it all down, it'll be a 1/2 cup. And I'm just gonna put a towel over this little baggie and use a meat mallet, just the flat side, because this side will make holes, and just kind of gently mash it down. Okay, that ought to be just right. And the beauty of doing this in the little muffin tins is normally my meatloaf takes an hour to bake. This one only takes about 35 minutes, 35 to 40. You want to watch it towards the end, and also depending upon how well done you like your meatloaf. I don't like ours real well done. So you want to mix this with a fork as best as you can, and then you just have to go in there with your hands at the end and get the rest of it mixed up. Now I pick back up with a big tablespoon, and it ends up, it's probably about a tablespoon and a half of the mixture, and just kind of do it like a meatball and just press it down in there. And I did spray these with Pam, even though they're non-stick, just for insurance, I sprayed them anyway. So I'll finish putting all 12 of these in here, and then I'll show y'all how I do the sauce. So all the meat mixture is in the 12 muffin tins. Now it's time to do the special sauce on top of it. What you need is some tomatoes, just straight up tomato sauce out of the can, some brown sugar, and some yellow mustard. So you just want to take about 2 tablespoons of tomato sauce for each little meatloaf cup. I'll just do 2 to show you guys how this goes, and then I'll finish up the rest and get them in the oven. But this is just straight up yellow mustard. Just do a couple little dots. Even if you despise yellow mustard, try this, because you can't, it turns into something totally different. It's just delicious, sweet, and tangy. Then I have some brown sugar, and I'm just gonna sprinkle probably about equivalent to about a teaspoon on each one. You'll see in the recipe I don't really have accurate measurements for this because it's really okay to eyeball it. You won't mess anything up, I promise. All right, so get that on there. So I'll get these finished up, get them in the oven, clean up a little bit, and then I'll show you guys when we come back how I make these delicious little tomato bite appetizers.
Choosing an appliance can be complicated these days. That's why at Bob Wallace Appliance, we start by asking questions like an occasional cook or a serious chef, something just for you, or an army, once a week or once a day. You see, it's not just what we know about appliances, it's what we know about you. Bob Wallace Appliance, locally owned and operated for more than 35 years. Online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Hey guys, come on in.
Hey Troy.
Yeah, let me show you around.
Wow.
You know, as the Acme Brick spokesperson, I get paid in brick. All the brick I want. Solid. What? Too much? To get Acme Brick quality, look for the Acme name. And here's the guest room. Hope you like a firm mattress.
At Quality Plus, our motto is don't call 3, call me. Because where else can you find North Alabama's finest craftsmen who can handle all of your residential roofing, drywall, and painting needs? At Quality Plus, all work is 100% guaranteed, and no job is too big or too small, whether it's new construction or remodeling. So for your roofing, drywall, and painting needs, don't call 3, call me. At Quality Plus Production, 256-990-7578.
Okay, we're back, and I've got the meatloaf cups in the oven, and they will bake at 350 for 40 minutes. They smell delicious already. This is a fantastic little appetizer that I'm excited to share with you guys. It's little, I just call them tomato bites, and you make them with these wonderful phyllo cups that are already made. You just buy them in the freezer section, and you don't even have to let them thaw out. You can if you want to, but it's not necessary. So what you want to start with is a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise. And I always use real mayonnaise. Then you want to put about a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, and I'm just gonna pour it in the palm of my hand. It's about the size of a quarter, is about equivalent to a teaspoon. Then here is the bacon that I was telling y'all about that I used the grease for the green beans. So now you see it's nice and crisp. So let me mix that for a minute. And then I have 2 tablespoons of chopped green onion. This is optional. I like it because of the color. It looks really pretty with the green and the red tomatoes, but you can certainly leave it out if you think it's overwhelming. Then I have a can of Rotel tomatoes, and I just used the original little small can of Rotel, but I drained it, and it's been sitting here for about 30 minutes. So you want to make sure that it's drained well, because basically you're just getting the tomatoes and green chilies out of that with the nice little spices in there. And then the last thing is a cup of grated Swiss cheese. And you can even mix it up with different cheeses. You can use Monterey Jack or cheddar, just kind of make it your own. And then you just want to make sure it's all mixed up together. And now I'm just gonna spoon them by the teaspoon. I like to go ahead and fill them up while they're in the trays, and then I'll just move them onto the pan. Otherwise, I might spill, tomato mixture on this parchment paper. And you just want about a teaspoon of filling into each one. And this is one of those things you kind of have to use your hands a little bit, use your fingers to kind of push the filling in there, because it doesn't take a lot. And then once I get all these filled, I'll transfer them onto the tray. But I wanted to share with you guys some very exciting news about what's going on at Inspiration. We have finally, I say we like I've done it, Mike has worked so hard, Mike and his entire team, getting our beautiful lodge at Inspiration finished. And this has been such a labor of love for Mike. There was a bit of a battle trying to get it passed to build the lodge up there for our homeowners, and now all that was approved through the city council, and so he's been working diligently on that. It's finished. It is absolutely stunning on the inside. My sweet friend Kathleen is the one who did all the interior design on the inside, and there is an incredible gym with all sorts of great equipment. There are tennis courts, basketball courts. There's also an Olympic-sized swimming pool that is just stunning to look at. And all the landscape that Mike has done around that lodge, it's simply breathtaking. And we are gonna take you guys on a tour after a while and just show you guys what we're talking about. It's absolutely gorgeous, but I would encourage you to go out and look at it in person, because it is something to see. So I know Mike, I don't want to steal his thunder. I know he'll want to tell you guys much more about it, but come out and see it. All right, so I'm going to finish filling these little cups, and then once you get them all filled, I'm going to transfer them to the pan, and you bake them at 400 for about 12 to 15 minutes. You just want to watch those last 3 minutes, and then I think we've got everything cooked. So when we come back, Mike will be with me to taste all of this delicious food and to share more with you guys about what's happening at Inspiration on Green Mountain.
Today we're at Inspiration, and we've been talking about Inspiration for the past several years and just what an amazing community it is. Well, it even got better. Today we're at the Lodge on Green Mountain, and the Lodge is a first-class amenity package. It's going to include basketball courts, it's going to include tennis courts, Olympic-sized swimming pool, a Fit for Life center, which is a gym, and also a huge gathering room. And me and my architect and my designers and my landscape architects, literally we started working on this 2.5 years ago, and it is finally complete, and I cannot wait to show it to you. It is amazing. Come on, let's check it out. So the way that we designed this facility is we designed it with a central breezeway. And you wonder why they call them a breezeway, because you can see there's always a breeze that goes to the breezeway. But on this half of the building, we've got our fitness center, we've got our restrooms, shower facilities, and then over here on this half, we have basically our great big gathering room. And right in front of us is access to an amazing swimming pool. So everything is on swipe card. So if you're a member, all you have to do is swipe your card right here and enter. This gathering room is designed for very, very, very large crowds, but it's designed so that the people who live up on Green Mountain, who own a home and have a membership, they have full access to this particular facility. We just opened it up. We already have residents making reservations, and a lot of things of what we've done is we've set it up for primarily catering. I do have a storage closet where we've got 12 round tables set up and 100 chairs. So if you're here, you don't have to rent, you don't have to hire an outside company. We have them available here in case you want to have a dinner party for 100 or a wedding party for 100 or even more. The facility can certainly accommodate it. So we've set it up for quick microwave, warming drawer, and then also refrigerator stuff just to keep your cold stuff cold during the event. In the gathering room, we've got 2 TVs set up. We've already got ball game schedule where people can come over and watch the ball game. But another neat thing about this is when you're having an event, I love these doors. We had these open the other night. People were flowing in and out, and basically it's just an extension of the living area. The pool design is pretty much geared for all types of swimming. We've got a 0 entry here for the kids. It is an Olympic-sized swimming pool. It's just a great quality of life. So this is our cooking cabana. Down here you'll have your bed of coals to where you'll be able to lower your grate depending upon what temperature you want to cook your meat. So literally this thing is big where you probably cook 50 hamburgers at a time. I mean, it's just great for entertaining, and that's what this is. The whole facility is set up for, is for great entertainment. Now, probably the next best thing that'll be used more than anything is the gym. So let's go check that out. And the fitness center has got like 6 pieces of cardio equipment. We've got machine weights. Everything is here, including shower facilities. You get through working out, you can go outside in the swimming pool and go swimming, and that is all about lifestyle. All you have to do is just come up here. We're open up 7 days a week, or if you just want to call and set up an appointment where you get a tour of the entire facility, you can give us a call at 830-9000, or you can look us up on the website at woodlandhomes.com. So y'all come check us out.
When you select Wolde Flooring's hardwood, you don't just enhance your home, you transform it. With hundreds of beautiful, durable, hand-selected varieties that come with up to a 50-year warranty, you can count on unsurpassed beauty and proven durability that's guaranteed to stand the test of time. When you want the best flooring for your home, come to Wolde Flooring in Madison. WoldeFlooring.com, 256-325-8453.
If you're looking to remodel or build your dream home, it all starts at the Dream Studio by Woodland Homes. At Woodland Homes Dream Studio, you'll work with seasoned professionals dedicated to providing you with the very best, whether you're starting from scratch or remodeling. And with thousands of selections to choose from, the Dream Studio offers everything you need at the absolute highest quality, all under one roof. The Dream Studio by Woodland Homes. Live your dream. Call 830-9000 today.
We're back, and as promised, I got Mike in the kitchen with me.
Glad to be here today.
I was
this
afraid,
looks awesome.
Well, thank you. I was afraid you might not make it because inspiration, or just Green Mountain for you in general, is happening.
Yeah. It's we of course 2.5 years ago is when kind of the master plan all came together up there, and so we're in the final hours of getting the whole lodge clubhouse finished and getting ready for our grand opening. And when I looked at the plans, and a lot of people don't have the ability to be able to kind of visualize if they're building a house or something like that, but when I looked at the plan, I knew that it was going to be amazing, and it turned out absolutely fantastic.
It's stunning. I can't wait for everybody to see it and to see all of our homeowners' reactions to it.
So last week we set up the pool deck with all the furniture. So if you're looking to live in a resort community, any of our communities up on Green Mountain is going to give you that resort feel. Olympic-sized swimming pool. We've got fire pits. We've got a gym. The gym is amazing. We also got tennis courts, and we got basketball courts, and it is truly a first class
Yes, it is.
lifestyle center, and it is better than anything that I've seen in Huntsville. I mean, I'm just trying to think of all these clubhouses in Huntsville. I mean, this is simply the best, and that's what I wanted.
Right.
You know, and plus we've got phase 4 coming online. We should record that plant. So it's just, if you haven't been to Inspiration, you need to come up and you need to check out what we're doing up there, because we are, sales have been great up there, and people come up there and they just fall in love with it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's just one of a kind.
It is absolutely amazing up there, and right by the nature trail, you know, so I love it up there.
So now we're in the process of building about a mile's worth of sidewalks.
Yeah.
So we're working on the whole intersection. We're working on the entrance to phase 4, which is going to be the primary entrance. So when you come up top of the mountain, you'll pass the phase 1 entrance, but then you go about another probably 2-3 blocks, and then you'll come to the intersection of South Chaldee and South Village Square. That's where the main entrance is going to be. It's absolutely beautiful. So there's a lot that I've been working on for the past couple of years.
I know you have.
And I'm about glad I can go on to some other projects.
I know you're
But it's
ready.
been fun, and that's what I enjoy doing. I mean, I enjoy creating value for people, and this amenity package is certainly going to create value for the homeowners up there at Inspiration. And it's just, I'm creating basically a lifestyle for the mountain.
Well, and it's something that you felt so strongly and so passionately about, and you pushed and you pushed and you pushed until you made everybody understand what your vision was. And I think now everybody is just saying, wow. It's so
we certainly had some opposition, but that was from people who didn't live in our communities.
Right.
But we've taken care of that, and it's just I've gotten several telephone calls just saying, wow, if we'd have known it was going to be like this, we wouldn't have resisted. And I knew, but you can't communicate when you got something on a piece of paper. Sometimes you just can't communicate it. But
they needed to see the visual, and now it's there. And I think it's going to end up being a fantastic thing for all the residents of Green Mountain, not just our homeowners.
Absolutely. But if you haven't been to Inspiration or any woodland home community, there is a difference. Come see why, and we just invite you out to look at any of our communities and any of our award-winning plans. Our models are open 7 days a week, or you can just give us a call at 830-9000. And for
our recipes, you can log on to woodlandhomes.com as well and click the Dream Home Cooking button and find the recipes, as well as a list of all of our amazing sponsors.
Absolutely. So can we?
Yes.
Okay.
This is one of those you're going to need a nap after you eat lunches.
Oh, that sounds good. Y'all come and see us.
Okay.